Breaking news that is impacting tens of thousands of drivers on the east side, along with interstate traffic headed east to the Atlantic states. The I-10 bridge over the San Jacinto River shut down for who knows how long. The bridge suffered major damage after being hit by two barges early this morning. Several agencies, including TxDOT and the Coast Guard, now providing more information on that bridge damage within the past hour.
Yeah, we showed you that news conference live at 5 o'clock and on click2houston.com. Our Robert Arnold was there. Now he joins us from Channelview with those new details. Robert.
Yeah, a total of 9 barges broke free from their moorings around midnight. That was really at the height of the rains coming through, causing the San Jacinto River current to hit at a very fast clip. 2 of the barges, the ones that are wedged under the I-10 bridge right now, are owned by the Canal Barge Company, and that company's senior vice president came down, and one of the questions we asked about was precautions regarding those barges being moored when storms come ashore. Several companies keep their barges in this area. That's the San Jacinto River fleeting area, and according to the company's vice president, that's Joe Tyson, he says a third-party vendor is responsible for making sure everything is battened down in advance of a storm. Tyson said they did check with their vendor and they were assured that extra precautions had been taken.
Typically, it's doubling the lines, making sure that the fleet boats are keeping an eye on the equipment, just to make sure things are as they should be out there in the fleet.
Surging river currents from Imelda's rains right now are being blamed on those barges breaking free from their moorings. However, an investigation will determine a root cause. Now, from the air, the damage to the west side of the bridge appears to be significant. However, officials with the Texas Department of Transportation say they cannot do a full assessment of the damage until those barges have been removed from under the bridge and the water levels drop. Coast Guard officials say they probably will not be able to start that work until the morning. Coast Guard officials say until that river current dies down a little bit, they cannot remove those barges. Right now, the current is way too fast to be able to tow those barges out from under the bridge safely. Until TxDOT is able to do a full assessment of the damage, both sides of I-10 at the bridge are going to remain shut down. Again, do not know until that full assessment of damage can be done, and of course, an assessment of what repairs are going to be needed to the damage to those columns. One of the things we did ask TxDOT is this is the second time this year a bridge has hit that, or pardon me, a barge has hit that bridge, causing it to be shut down. TxDOT officials say they are planning to put more buffers in that area to try to prevent these barge strikes. But again, that work had not yet gotten out of the planning phase. Reporting live from Channelview, Robert Arnold, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Robert, thank you for that information.